Well-being. Being well. Overcoming disappointment. Disappointment is a common emotional response that arises when expectations, hopes, or desired outcomes are not met. While often uncomfortable, disappointment is a natural and meaningful reaction that reflects investment, effort, and value. Overcoming disappointment does not involve eliminating the emotion, but rather processing it constructively, adjusting perspectives, and re-engaging with life in adaptive ways. A foundational step in coping with disappointment is acknowledging and accepting the emotional experience. Allowing oneself to feel disappointment without judgment supports emotional processing and prevents suppression, which can intensify distress over time. Identifying and naming associated emotions, such as sadness, frustration, anger, or discouragement, can increase self-awareness and reduce emotional confusion, making the experience more manageable. Reflection plays an important role in understanding disappointment. Examining the source of the disappointment, including unmet expectations or factors outside one's control, helps contextualize the emotional response. Evaluating whether expectations were realistic or aligned with available information can support future expectation management and reduce vulnerability to repeated disappointment. This reflective process promotes insight rather than self-criticism. Self-compassion is essential during periods of disappointment. Responding to oneself with kindness and understanding reduces shame and self-blame, reinforcing emotional safety. Recognizing that disappointment is a universal human experience supports psychological normalization and prevents the development of harsh self-judgment or diminished self-worth. Cognitive reframing further supports recovery from disappointment. Shifting focus from perceived failure toward learning, growth, or alternative outcomes encourages adaptive meaning-making. Identifying lessons or new possibilities does not invalidate disappointment but allows it to coexist with forward-looking perspective. This shift supports emotional flexibility and resilience. Taking constructive action can restore a sense of agency following disappointment. Setting new, achievable goals and developing practical plans for moving forward helps redirect energy toward purposeful engagement. Small, incremental steps support motivation and reduce feelings of stagnation or helplessness. Social support also plays a protective role in coping with disappointment. Sharing experiences with trusted individuals can provide validation, perspective, and reassurance. Supportive conversations help normalize emotional responses and reduce isolation. In some cases, professional support may be beneficial, particularly when disappointment is persistent or intertwined with broader emotional difficulties. Mindfulness and relaxation practices assist in managing the emotional intensity associated with disappointment. Techniques such as mindful awareness, deep breathing, or grounding exercises support present-moment focus and reduce rumination. These practices help regulate stress responses and promote emotional balance. Engaging in self-care supports both emotional and physiological recovery. Physical activity, adequate sleep, balanced nutrition, and restorative activities contribute to mood regulation and resilience. Attending to basic needs reinforces the capacity to cope effectively with emotional challenges. Avoiding prolonged rumination is important in preventing disappointment from becoming entrenched. Redirecting attention toward meaningful or enjoyable activities supports mental flexibility. Reflecting on past experiences of disappointment and how they were managed can also reinforce confidence in one's ability to recover and adapt. Forgiveness and letting go are often integral to overcoming disappointment. Releasing self-blame or resentment toward others reduces emotional burden and supports psychological freedom. Letting go does not imply forgetting or minimizing the experience, but rather choosing not to remain anchored to it. Overcoming disappointment is a gradual and dynamic process that integrates emotional awareness, perspective adjustment, and intentional action. Through self-compassion, reflection, support, and resilience-building strategies, individuals can transform disappointment into an opportunity for growth and renewed engagement with life.